Hello everybody, welcome to Game 2 of the 1973 NLCS. I was going to do this as a live recording, but I thought it'd be better if I did it as a regular recording. I get better picture quality. And then I will post this at lunchtime on Tuesday. I'm recording this on Monday night around 9 o'clock Eastern. Pirates lead the series 1-0, so the pressure is on the Giants to split the series before they go to Pittsburgh for Game 3 and then Game 4 and 5 if necessary. Look at our ballpark effects for Candlestick Park. Singles 1 to 5 for both lefties and righties. Home runs 1 to 18 for lefties, 1 to 10 for righties. One lineup change. Dave Kingman was in the original starting lineup, but he has come up a little lame. So he is on the bench, and Ed Goodson has taken his place. Ed Goodson will be batting sixth and playing third base. Kingman is available to pinch hit and potentially play defense later in the game, but he will not start the game. Starting pitchers, Tom Bradley for the San Francisco Giants. He was 13-12 with a 3.90 ERA. He will be on the mound for the Giants, and for the Pirates, it'll be Bob Moose, 12-13 with a 3.54 ERA. Pitching catcher hold interface for both teams. For the Pirates, it's a 0. Moose is a -1, Sanguin's a +1 for a net 0. For the Giants, Dave Rader is a +2, Tom Bradley's a +2, so it's a +4. So the Pirates may very well be looking to do some running. We shall see. Got our giant colored dice for the home team. Of course, I'll switch over to Pittsburgh once we get back to Pittsburgh for Game 3, but right now, this is where we're at. All right, so we are ready to get going. Tom Bradley finishing up the warm-up tosses. And leading things off will be Dave Cash. Again, these are not as-played lineups because they obviously didn't play each other in the NLCS. So I made the best lineup I thought possible and realistic. So that's what we got. Now that the right-hander is in there for San Francisco instead of the lefty, we got Richie Hebner where he needs to be in the middle of the order. Gravedigger. All right, here's Dave Cash. He's going to lead off against Bradley. Game 2 underway. 4-8, right-handed. 1-11 is a single. That's a 15, though, so he's going to ground it to first. And McCovey will take it to the bag himself. And there's one away. And that'll bring up Al Oliver at first base for this game. Bradley, 4-4 to the lefty. Ground ball third base X, and that is Goodson, 4E41. Still better than Kingman's 5. So Goodson, a 4E41, might have some issues. 4 and a 9. So 4 and a 9 for a third baseman. A 4 and a 9, he will actually get to it. It's a G3. And now it's an E41, so he's got to avoid 10, 11, 12, 13, and 16. And that is a total of 14. And I believe that was one that was not listed. 41 and a 14. There is no 14. It's 10 through 13, then it skips to 16. So it's a nice play for Ed Goodson. Not the cleanest of plays, but he made it, and that's all that counts. 2 down now for Richie Hebner, the Gravedigger. 1-5, and that's a 1-18 single. That'll be a base hit for Richie Hebner. He will not be held. He's not running well at all. And Wilbur Stargell is your batter. First havoc roll of the game. Nothing happening. Bradley to Stargell. 3-5 for Stargell. Struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the first. Pirates nothing. Giants coming to bat. And right-hander Bob Moose is on the mound for the Bucks. He will be starting things off against Gary Maddox of the Giants. It'll be Maddox, Fuentes, and Bonds due up. First 3. Bonds may have been the leadoff man a lot for the Giants in real world, but with his power, I just think he has to be more in the power position of a 3 or 4 hitter. So I thought he and McCovey back-to-back. And he gets protection from McCovey, so that's why I moved the lineup that way. 4-7 for Moose, and that's a 1-14 single. That's a 3. It's a base hit for Maddox. So Maddox is aboard. He is going to be held, obviously. It's a 0 factor, so if he gets the lead, it's a 1-15. So he's going to try for it. The lead, he needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. And that's a 4. He gets the lead. So 17 being held makes him a 15. Pitcher-catcher interface is a 0, 1-15. And he's in there. Stolen base for Maddox. So the Giants looking to, and Maddox will be held at second base. So the Giants looking to get on the Pirates early, try to even this series. And here's second baseman Tito Fuentes. It's a 1-6 for Fuentes. That's a 1-2 home run, but that's a 16. It's a fly ball to left. And there's one away for Bobby Bonds. 1, so a chance of a wild pitch. Moose is a 1-2. There's a 2, so it's a wild pitch for Bob Moose. He's going to wild pitch Maddox over to third. And now the infield's going to come in. With 1 out and a runner at third, the infield will come in with the at-bat for Bobby Bonds. 4-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop A with the infield in. That's going to hold the runner. And the chart I'm using is this chart right here. Runner at third, ground ball A is a 1 with the infield in. It just says batter out, runner holds. So quite simply, that's what we got. So Maxwell froze the runner at third. And now it's up to Willie McCovey in a clutch situation. Bob Moose to McCovey. 6-10 left-handed. That's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-5, but that's a 17. So it's just going to be a fly ball to right field to end the inning, and the Giants don't get anything. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We played 1 from Candlestick, and it's no score. Giants and the Bucks. And I do want to check focus because I did put that rule book in the way a little bit, so I want to make sure that didn't blur the situation. Make sure of that. Looks like it did not, so it looks like we're still in good shape. All right, Richie Zisk will lead it off against Bradley. It's a 3-9 for Zisk. That's a solid single. Zisk will not be held. He had no stolen bases on the season. No attempts either. So here's Manny Sanguillen, catcher. Infield looking to turn 2. 6-9, and that's not a good spot for Bradley to be. 1-2 is a triple. Anything else is a single. So it's a single 2 stars for Sanguillen. Zisk will move to third. Runners on the corners with nobody out. Infield will be looking to turn 2. They need to minimize the damage. They'll give up the run if they can get 2 outs. Sanguillen not being held at first. Bradley, 6-5. That's a ground ball shortstop, X. Shortstop is Spire. He's a 2E36. And since no one was being held, he keeps his 2 rating. 2 and an 11 for a shortstop is a G1. This could be a double play. E36, he's got to avoid 13, 15, 16, and 17. And he does. So it's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, which is exactly what they wanted. They would trade those 2 out, the run to get the 2 outs and minimize the damage. Zisk scores, but now there are 2 outs and the base is empty for Dow Maxwell. 1-0 Pirates, but it could have been a lot worse for Bradley. Suadice will try it again. 2-8, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. Pirates get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Bucks. But the way these pitchers are, they're not lights out pitchers, so I don't think 1 run's going to hold up. So here's Gary Matthews, the Sarge. 5-4 from Moose is a ballpark single check. 1-5, that's a 4, so it's a base hit for Gary Matthews. Now, if he wanted to try to get the lead, he needs a 4 or a 6, and it would be a 1-15 if he gets the lead, so they're going to try it. He needs a 4 or a 6. He does not get it, but that's a 2. That's a 2, so that means we go to our rule book. When trying to obtain a lead, when you roll a 2 with the D20, there's a possible balk. So we're checking on the balk rating of Moose. He's a 2. So 1 to 2 is a balk. It is not going to be a balk. So when there is no balk on that particular roll, the runner has failed to achieve the lead. So Matthews can no longer has the good lead. So Ed Goodson at the plate. 1-3 for Goodson. Ground ball first base C. That's going to advance the runner. So in this case, Oliver will flip to Moose covering. 3-1 if you're scoring at home. You obviously know by now that you should be. Here's Chris Spire. Matthews is going to be held at second. He runs at a 16. They want to choke that down a little bit. 6-9 is a strikeout. So 2 down. Big strikeout here. Now is an interesting situation with National League rules. The number 8 hitter is at the plate with a runner in scoring position. You could intentionally walk him and pitch to the pitcher Bradley, which would most likely get you out of the inning, or you could take a chance of getting Rader out and forcing Bradley to lead off the next inning, hence cutting down the threat of them scoring in the third inning. Dave Rader is a .229 hitter, so Bob Moose is going to go after him. There's going to be no intentional walk here. Moose to Rader. 1-6, and it pays off. Ground ball to short to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. At the end of 2, it's 1-0 Pirates, and now Bradley has to lead off the bottom of the third. So that's the advantage of not giving the free pass. Speaking of pitchers hitting, Bob Moose will lead off for the Pirates. He's using pitcher hitting card number 1 against the righty Bradley. So 1-9, and that's a strikeout. So Moose is out. 1 away, and the order flips over to Dave Cash. Bradley to Cash, 3-4. Ground ball to second. Fuentes is there. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings up Al Oliver. Grounded out to Goodson his first time. 5-11 left-handed. That's an in-home run ballpark blast. He does have normal power. Home runs 1 to 18. That's a 9. It's gone. Al Oliver. In some people's mind, he potentially could be a Hall of Famer. Certainly a Hall of Very Good. And Al Oliver certainly has comparable stats to guys that are already in the Hall. Definitely had a long career. Was a very good hitter. Don't know if he has the numbers per se to get in, but a lot of people think he is right on the borderline. And he gets the home run there to give the Pirates a 2-0 lead. Here's the gravedigger Richie Hebner, 2-3, and that's a split chance. 1-7 is a single. That is a 7, so instead of a ground ball to first and advanced, the triangle makes it a split, and 1-7, he gets a single. So Richie Hebner, 2 for 2, and that will bring up Wilbur Stargell. Bradley to Stargell, 1-7, that's a walk. Now the Giant bullpen's starting to loosen. They can't wait around too long, and they do have an off day for travel, so they do have some guys that they can turn to. Jim Barr is their long reliever, but they could go to Randy Moffett to get him out of a jam if they need to. There's 2 outs. They'd like to get Bradley through the inning because he does lead off next inning. And they may just pinch hit for him because, like I said, they can't mess around. 3-7, and that's a 1-10 single. That's a 9. It's a single 1 star. So it's going to load the bases for Manny Sanguillen. And Bradley on the ropes trying to keep his team in the game. It's 2-0, but the Pirates could blow it open on a Sanguillen hit. And he did single his last time up. 1-6, but this time he grounds it back to Bradley. And the Pirates end up leaving them loaded. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they left them loaded. We go to the bottom of the third. It is 2-0 Pirates, and that's going to be it for Bradley. He is done as he is set to lead off the inning. They need to shore up their bullpen And so Jim Barr will be coming in to pitch long relief for the Giants. I almost started Jim Barr in this game, but I started Bradley instead because Barr did have some relief ratings. So Barr, 11-17, 3.82 ERA. He will be coming in to pitch for Bradley. So Jim Barr will be your new pitcher. Bradley's going to go 3 innings, give up 2 runs. They were both earned on 5 hits. He walked 1, and he struck out 2. It's not a horrible outing, but they need the offense, and they need to make sure that they are not falling further behind. So now we're going to the Giants bench to figure out who's going to pinch hit and lead things off. Looks like it's going to be Mike Phillips. Mike Phillips, the utility infielder, will be leading things off. Actually, no, he will not. They'll save him for defense. They're going to use Steve Ontiveros, a switch hitter. He did not play in Game 1, so Steve Ontiveros will actually do the pinch hitting. See if he can get something started. Steve Ontiveros. Pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 3rd. Bob Moose. 5-10, ground ball shortstop X. That is Maxwell. He's a 2E24. 2-15, he'll get to it. E24, he's got to avoid 4, 6, 15, 17, and 18. And he does a 7, so he barely avoids it. But a nice play by Maxwell, and that's going to be it for Ontiveros. He is done. And now we'll flip the order over to Gary Maddox. Maddox singled, stole second, and was stranded at third his first at bat. 6-10 is a fly to right field. Hauled in out there by Richie Zisk. 2 down. And that brings up Fuentes. 2-10, and that's a ground ball to short. Maxwell all over it. 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 3, it's Pittsburgh 2 and the Giants nothing. And now Jim Barr will come in and start to pitch the top of the 4th. Try to keep his team in the game, if possible. Jim Barr. And Gene Kleins will lead it off. He hit into a double play his first chance. 5-5, and that's a pop out to short. Spire makes the play, 1 away for Dal Maxwell. 4-9, and that's a single to center field for Maxwell. And that's going to allow Moose to bunt. So we take away pitch hitting card number 1 because we're not worried about that now. We're looking at Bob Moose for the bunt. He's a B bunter, but corners are in, so he becomes a C bunter. But that's still going to be the best option. First, we'll make sure Barr doesn't have anything screwy going on. He did not. So we got the bunt. It's a number 2. So that means it's going to the pitcher, Jim Barr. And he's a C bunter, so pretty much just needs to avoid anything 8 or less is pretty good. That's a 7, so that's a good sacrifice. So the sacrifice is done, 1-4. Going to second base is Maxwell. He's in scoring position now with 2 outs for Dave Cash. Maxwell not going to be held. He only runs it at 12. Barr pitching to Cash in a clutch situation. And Cash, clutch-wise, against right-handers is not... He gains a hit in 3-8. That's a 3-7. He just missed it. It's a ground ball to short. 3-8 would have been that clutch hit that would have scored the run. But 3-7 is a ground ball to short to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 2-0 Buccos. Bob Moose back out. His fatigue is a 7, so he's got plenty of juice left in the tank. And Bobby Bonds will lead things off. Trying to spark something for the Giants. 2-10, and that's a ground ball to short. 1 away for Willie McCovey. That's a 3-7 for McCovey, and it's a 1-6 single, but that's a 10. So again, he grounds it to Maxville at short, 2 up and 2 down for the Sarge. Gary Matthews singled his first chance. Moose, 3-9 to the Sarge, struck him out. So Bob Moose, another 1-2-3 inning. And we go to the top of the 5th. Score still 2-0. Still anybody's ball game. Jim Barr back out facing Oliver, Hebner, and Stargell. 3 tough left-handed hitters. But once again, the Giants have no lefties in their bullpen. They have no lefties available. So everything from the right side, as they do not have any lefty relievers. So Oliver homered his last time up. 6-2. He might do it again. It's an in-home run chance. And power in-home run ballpark blast. It's a 1-18. That's a 19, though. So he just misses it. A deep fly to right that Bonds puts away at the track. But that time the evil D20 says, I don't care if you got an 18 here. I'm going to be a 19. And we're going to make it a fly out to right field. So 1 away for Hebner, who's 2 for 2. That's a 2-10, and he's going to have a ballpark single check, 1-5. That's a 14, so he's going to pop it to second. 2 down. And that'll bring up Pop Stargell. 5-6, and that's a ground ball to second. Easy play there for Fuentes, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jim Barr. He's pitched 2 solid in relief, keeping his team in the game. It is now still 2-0. And Bob Moose back out will be facing Goodson, Spire, and Rader. And possibly a pinch hitter for Barr if they get that far. 4-8 against a left-hander. 4-8 is a single. So base hit for Goodson. He will not be held. And here comes Chris Spire. Spire struck out his first chance. Moose, 1-9. Ground ball third base A. It's an around the horn. 5-4-3 double play. Hebner to Cash to Oliver. 5-4-3 does the trick. Pitcher's best friend. And here's Rader. 4-7. And that's another single to right field. Now, with 2 outs and the base is empty, though, the chances of a base hit may not be that great, but you still have to try it. I mean, you got to do anything you can to get some runs. So they're going to pinch hit for Barr, and they're going to bring in Gary Thomason. Thomason is your pinch hitter. Rader will not be held. So Thomason is the pinch hitter. Runner at first. Rader not being held. 2 down. And the pinch hitter Thomason closed the book on Barr. He went 2 innings. Gave up 1 hit. No runs. No walks, no strikeouts. And we'll figure out who the new pitcher is going to be when we get to the top of the 6th. Right now, Thomason with a runner at first and 2 down. Facing Bob Moose. That's a 5-2. It's a split chance. 1-7 is a single. That is a 5, so it's a base hit for Thomason. Pinch hit single. It's only 1 star. Rader goes to second base. Now runners are at first and second with 2 outs for Gary Maddox in a clutch situation. And Maddox against right-handers loses a hit on the 110 clutch result. And also on 312. So he's going to lose 2 possibilities for hits on clutch. See if that comes into play. Moose does not. 410. Right-handed is catcher X. Catcher X. That's Sanguillen. And Sanguillen is a 3E5. 3E5. 3 and a 13 for a catcher. 3 and a 13 is a P/F. And we check the E5. That's a total of 14. E5. There is no 14. P/F is going to be a pass ball. So pass ball on Sanguillen. And that's going to put the runners in scoring position, both of them now, at second and third. So Matic still in that clutch situation. But the tying runs are in scoring position. One base hit could tie this game. Moose, 3-5, and there it is, single 2 stars. We now have a tie ball game. So now Bradley is off the hook for the loss. We're tied at 2, and Gary Maddox might be looking to run. Needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. He's already stolen one base. That's an 8, so he cannot get the jump. He will hold. And here's Tito Fuentes. But now we got a brand new ball game tied at 2 here in the 5th. 5-7, switch to bang left is a ground ball second base X. And second baseman is Cash. He's a 3E21. 3 and a 16, he'll get to that. E21, he has to avoid on the E21. He's got to avoid 4, 13, and 17. And he does just that to end the inning. But Pirates strike for 2, a 2-run single from Gary Maddox in a clutch situation. He comes through, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. So at the end of 5 complete, we are tied at 2 from Candlestick Park. Brand new ball game. And now the Giants will need a new pitcher. And we'll see who they want to turn to out of their bullpen. They're going to turn to Don McMahon. McMahon, 4-0 with a 1.50 ERA. 6 saves in 30 innings pitched. So McMahon is on, and he'll be facing Richie Zisk. So McMahon, third pitcher used, but again, it's an off day for travel, so everybody in the bullpen is ready to go and accessible and usable because they get tomorrow to rest. All right, here's Zisk. 1-8, that's a walk. Not a good start for McMahon. Zisk will not be held, obviously. Here is Sanguillen. McMahon to Sanguillen. 3-8, that's a single, 2 stars. Sanguillen had a single, 2 stars his first at bat. So this is eerily similar. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Sanguillen not going to be held. Now, do you play the infield in or do you play the infield back because you need outs? They may trade the run for 2 outs again because they trust their offense to score more runs. So they're going to play back for the double play. And Klein's hitting to that double play his first time up. Man could use a strikeout. 4-6, he doesn't get it. 1-6 is a single. That's a 15. It's a ground ball B. So it's going to be a fielder's choice. 3-6, the run will score. And the Pirates reclaim the lead 3-2. Kleins is your new runner at first. He will be held because if he doesn't, he gets to jump automatically, but he won't go anywhere. And now here is Maxville. 3-2, Pirates now lead it. Man trying to minimize the damage. 1-6 is a strikeout. That will certainly help his cause. 2 down for Bob Moose. So Moose using pitcher hitting card number 1. He struck out and hit a sacrifice bunt. 6-8, he's going to hit a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning. So a run is in for the Pirates. They do it on 1 hit. No errors and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And Pirates now reclaim the lead by the score of 3-2, but there's still 4 at-bats for the Giants remaining, and they feel confident they can score some runs off Bob Moose. So they are not panicking right now. They've got some big boys coming up, Bonds, McCovey, and Matthews. 3-6, and that's a 1-4 triple. That is a 4, so how about that? 3-6, a 1-4 is a triple. Bobby Bonds, a leadoff triple, and all of a sudden the tying runs at third base with nobody out. And here's McCovey. The Pirates will play in. There's no double play to play back for, so they're playing in. 4-12, and that's a fly ball to center field B. It's a sacrifice fly, so it didn't matter where they were playing. When we got a brand new game again, it's 3-3. Triple from Bonds and a sac fly from McCovey, and that's why they played for the double play in the top of the inning. They just had confidence they would come back. And now the Pirate bullpen is starting to loosen a little bit. Can't tell who's down there yet, but we'll give it a look in a minute. 3-3 is a walk, so Matthews aboard on the walk, and he is a threat to run for sure. Looks like left-hander Luke Walker is loosening in the pen because there are some lefties in the lineup for the Giants. One of them is Ed Goodson, but of course he just got warming up, so he's not ready yet. Matthews can look in to get the jump. 4 or 6, he gets that good lead. Can't do it, so he's going to stand at pass again. And here's Ed Goodson. Moose to Goodson, 6-7. 1-2 was a single, but that's a 17. It's a ground ball to first B. It's a fielder's choice, 3-6. And Goodson's your new runner, but he's not going anywhere, not going to be held. And here's Chris Spire. Spire struck out and hit to a double play. 2-6, and he's going to strike out again, so a rough day for Chris Spire. But the Giants get the run from their big boys, Bonds and McCovey. They do it on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 6, we're tied at 3 apiece. And McMahon is back out to face the top of the order, Cash, Oliver, and Hebner. .210, and Cash is going to ground it to third. Goodson is there, 1 away. For Al Oliver, he's homered, 1 for 3. 2-8, and he's going to ground it to short. Spire is there, 2 down. So McMahon trying to get through 2 innings, and they would pinch hit for him in the bottom of the 7th. Here's Hebner, 2 for 3. 6-11, that's a fly ball right field X. That's Bonds. Bonds is a 1 E12, so you know he's going to get to it with a 1. We're just looking at E12. E12 and a 10 should be good all day long. E12 and a 10 is definitely good. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing doing there. We go to the 7th inning stretch. That's all from McMahon. His day is done. We go to the 7th inning stretch, tied at 3. And we'll do the numbers on McMahon. He went 2 innings and gave up 1 run, which was earned. He gave up 1 hit, walked 1. That was the guy that scored, was the walk, and he got a strikeout. Now, Moose, this is his point of fatigue inning, but do they go with Moose or do they go with a relief pitcher? They're going to go to the bullpen, I think. Pittsburgh will. So coming in to pitch, let's see who they want to go to. They're going to go to Ramon Hernandez. Not Walker as I thought, but certainly Ramon Hernandez, one of their closers, one of their relief pitchers. He and Justy kind of shared that role. But with the lefties coming up, that's where they're going. So Ramon Hernandez is going to come on. He's got a hold of -3, so Sanguian +1 makes that a -2. Now let's look at the numbers on Moose. He goes 6 innings, gives up 3 runs, all of which were actually only one of the runs is earned because a pass ball creates unearned runs. So this single by Maddox would have scored Rader already, but not Thomas in the pinch hitter. So actually only 2 of those runs are earned because of that pass ball. So he gave up 1, 2, 6, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. He walked just the 1, that was Matthews. And he struck out 1, 2, 3. And a no decision for Bob Moose. So the pitchers of record right now are Don McMahon and Ramon Hernandez. Those are the pitchers of record. Dave Rader is the scheduled hitter. But you could go to Mike SADV. He is the backup catcher and a right-handed hitter, although he's a terrible hitter. So I think they're going to stick with Rader. Now, the pinch hitter they're going to need is going to be right-handed. And that's going to be Mr. Kong Kingman. Dave Kingman's going to pinch hit. He has a wonderful column against lefties. Couldn't pass that one up. So Kingman is going to be your pinch hitter. That leaves SADV, Arnold, and Phillips on the bench. And we'll figure out who's going to come in from the bullpen. We don't know that just yet. It's going to be Rader, Kingman, and Maddox against Ramon Hernandez here in the bottom of the 7th. After the 7th inning stretch. Lefty on lefty matchup. 4-6 is a ground ball to second. Handled by Cash, one away, and now the pinch hitter Kingman is at the plate. 6-12, that's a fly ball left field X. That's Stargell, he's a 4 with an E8. 4 and a 17, he'll get to it. E8, he has to avoid 3, 6, 15, 16, 17, and 18. That's a 13. I believe that would be just fine. E13, or number 13 is not on the error range. So it is going to be a fly to left. Kingman is retired. 2 up and 2 down. And that's going to send it over to Gary Maddox. Maddox is 2 for 3. All against Moose. This is Hernandez's first chance to face Maddox. 3-3 versus the lefty is a ground ball to the pitcher. And it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Ramon Hernandez. We go to the 8th. Still tied at 3 apiece. And we need a new pitcher for the Giants. And that pitcher will be right-hander Randy Moffett. So Moffett will be coming on. It's a bullpen game now for both teams. So Moffett will be facing Stargell, Zisk, and Sanguian. Start the top of the 8th, 3-3. 1-6 for Stargell. That's a double. It's a good way to start. Greets Moffett with a double. He will not be held at second base, obviously. Not running very well. Here's Zisk. 2-5 for Zisk. That's a strikeout and a big one, too, for Randy Moffett. 1 away. For Sanguian, he is 2 for 3. He's hit that single 2 stars twice. I believe he's gotten a 3-6 twice. 6-10 this time off of Moffett is a fly ball center field X. That is Maddox. He's a 3 E14. 3 and an 11. 3 and 11 is an F2, so he'll get to it. Now, E14 for a center fielder. He's got to avoid 3, 12, 16, 17, and 18. And he does. So nice play for Maddox. And on an F2, I don't believe. Runner on second may try to tag up if they want to. But Stargell only runs at an 8, so you're not going to try that. They're just going to have to hope Gene Kleins does something for him. But Stargell with very limited speed. Moffett 1-7. That's a single to left field for Gene Kleins. Now, Stargell was not being held, makes him a 9. 2 outs makes him an 11. It went to left field. It's a -1 Matthews. It's a 1-10. It's a 50-50 proposition. You have to send him when you have a 50-50 chance because Maxfield, the next batter, is terrible. So a 50-50 chance, 1-10, and Stargell will be safe. And he's out at the plate. But you had to take that chance. So Gary Matthews throws him out to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still tied at 3. And Stargell was just too good of a hitter to pinch run for him. You can't take him out of the game, so they're really almost in no man's land there. All right, here is Tito Fuentes. I guess they could have held him and put a pinch hitter in for Maxville, but They figured 50-50, you got a shot, so why not take it? All right, here's Fuentes. He'll be facing Hernandez. He's 0 for 3. 1-6 versus the lefty. 1-6 is a home run, but that's a 10, so he's just going to fly to left. And there's one away, and here comes Bobby Bonds. He tripled and scored his last time up. 4-5, and this time he's going to pop it up to third. Easy play for Hebner. 2 up and 2 down for McCovey now in a lefty-lefty situation for Willie McCovey, but that column 2 looks rich. He found column 3 instead. 3-7. So 1-5 single, but that's a 19, so he's going to ground it to third. And we are going to the 9th inning. Still tied at 3. That's going to be it for Hernandez. He's going to be pinch hit 4. So Hernandez goes 2 innings and doesn't give up anything. No walks, no strikeouts, no hits, no runs. Certainly did his job. Moffitt, his 2nd inning of work. And he'll be facing probably a pinch hitter from Maxville, as the Pirates have their full complement of people on their bench. So the pinch hitter to start things off is going to be the Cobra, Dave Parker. He's going to pinch hit for Maxville. So we're going to have Parker pinch hitting for Maxville. And then the new shortstop will be Jackie Hernandez for the bottom of the 9th. And Hernandez is a 4.52. And he runs at a 14. And then you need a pinch hitter for Hernandez. And that's going to be Bob Robertson. So Robertson will pinch hit for the pitcher. So it's going to be Parker and Robertson, followed by Cash here in the top of the 9th against Moffitt. Parker. So we got Parker, Robertson, and Hernandez being used. And Moffitt now to Parker. 3-10 for the Cobra, and he grounds it to first. One away. He's a very young Cobra, so he's not the full effect Cobra in 1973. Here's Bob Robertson. Moffitt, 5-2. Ballpark blast. Home runs are 1-10. He's got normal power. That's a 12, though. So it's a deep fly to left, but not deep enough. 2 away for Dave Cash. 4-4. And that's going to be a ballpark single check, 1-5, but that's a 20, so he's going to fly to left. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, chance for the Giants to walk it off and even the series. Pirates will need a new pitcher as they substituted Hernandez out. So the new pitcher for the Pirates, they like to save Justy if they possibly can. So they're going with Bob Johnson, a right-hander. Bob Johnson, 4-2, 3.62 ERA, 4 saves. So Bob Johnson it is. He will be on. And that's going to be it for Moffitt. Moffitt's going to go 2 innings. And he will retire all 6 that he faces. Actually, it might not be. He's got a relief rating of 3, so to check that, they're going to leave him in there. Unless they get down to where they have to pinch hit for him, they're going to leave him in there. So I'll take that back. All right, so Johnson to Matthews. Bottom of the 9th, 3-3, 1-7. Struck him out. 1 away for Ed Goodson. 4-4. That's a ground ball third base X. That's Hebner. He's a 4.28. 4 and an 8 for a third baseman. 4 and an 8 is a G3. He'll get to it. E28. He's got to avoid 11, 13, 14, and 15, which he does. Good play for Hebner. 2 down. 1 third baseman retires the other. 2 away. Base is clear for Chris Spire. That's a 4-7, and that's a single for Chris Spire. Keeps the inning going. He will not be held. Here's Dave Rader. Rader, 6-11 against a left-hander. It's a ground ball to second. That's going to end the inning. So we got free baseball as we go to the 10th. Tied at 3. Randy Moffett back out for his 3rd inning of work. This is his fatigue inning. Be facing Oliver, Hebner, and Stargell. Heart of the order here in the top of the 10th. Giants do have Elias Sosa in their bullpen if they want to bring him in. But right now they're going to stick with Moffett. 112 for Oliver. Hit by pitch plus injury, so he could be injured. It's very possible that we will have an injury. We'll check our injury chart. See if he has to come out. It would just be for this game only. It would not be for additional games. So Oliver has to roll a 1-4 to stay in the game. He does. It's a 3, so he will shake it off. How about that? He gets hit by a pitch, but he will shake it off. And Elias Sosa is loosening in the pen. They may have to go to him if Moffett's going to struggle. But they're going to give Moffett one more chance here against Hebner. Oliver not being held, not going anywhere. 4-5. It's a pop out to first base, so McCovey puts it away, one away, and they'll stick with Moffett as Willie Stargell is your batter. Stargell doubled his last time up. 3-8. This time he's going to ground it to short, and that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. So Randy Moffett's going to go 3 innings. Very impressive relief work. 3 innings, 2 hits, no runs. That big throw out of Stargell at the plate is what's keeping this game going. No walks and 1 strikeout. He did hit a batter. So we go to the bottom of the 10th, and the Giants will need a new pitcher, and it would be Elias Sosa in the 11th if it gets that far. But right now, we have a pinch hitter coming up for the Giants to pinch hit for Moffett against Bob Johnson. And the pinch hitter will be Phillips, the only lefty still left on the bench. So Mike Phillips, your pinch hitter. Mike Phillips was a .240 hitter on the season. It'll be Phillips, and then Maddox and Fuentes, top of the order after that. So Phillips, your batter. That leaves Arnold and Sadek as the only 2 bench players remaining. Johnson, 5-4 to a lefty. It's a fly ball center field X. That is Mr. Klein's. He's a 4E12. 4 and a 10. We'll see if he can get to that. I think he can. 4 and a 10. No, he does not actually. It's a single. So he did not get to it. E12. That's a 6. E12. And there's a 2-base error on a 6. How about this? A 6 on an E. We said he was an E12. E12 center fielder. A 6 is right here as a 2-base error. So it's going to be a single for Phillips. And he goes to third on the E8. And now the infield's going to have to come in. No choice. No choice at all. And now Johnson might be lifted for Justy as they don't have any choice. They may have to bring in Justy just to try to get out of this. They're bringing the best they have, Justy. Talk about a save situation. This would be a save situation. The bases are now loaded. Bases are, I'm sorry, not bases. Run on third, nobody out, I should say. And infield's going to have to be in, obviously. Infield is in. Even the outfield is in. There's a rule that says you can play the outfield in, so that cuts off on a potential sacrifice fly, but it also turns certain outs into singles. But right now, here's Justy. Justy to Maddox, infield in. 2-9, struck him out. Big strikeout for Justy. Infield still in, and it'll be Fuentes who gets the call. Fuentes. 3-3. It's a ground ball to short. The infield is in, though, so that plus sign is going to cost them the game. That's going to be a base hit, playing the infield in, but they really had no choice. And there's your ball game. Giants win it and even the series at a game apiece. The loss goes to Johnson. The win goes to Moffitt. Justy did what he could, but couldn't help it. Johnson takes the loss. Let's see, in the 10th inning, a run on 2 hits, no errors and a man left, just to be official. So for Johnson, he went a total of just the one plus innings. He didn't 1 inning and 1 batter in the 10th. So he gave up 2 hits and a run. No walks and a strikeout. So the winning pitcher was Moffitt. The loser, Johnson, will do our totals for hits and runs and left on bases and all that sort of stuff. For the Pirates, they get 3 runs. They committed the one big error here in the 10th inning. That was the one error that hurt them. That 2-base error from Gene Clines. That's when you play a 4E12 in center field, that can come back to bite you. So 3 runs. Let's see how many hits they accrued. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. 9 hits. And they left on 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left on 7. For the Giants, 4 runs. They committed no errors. Let's see how many hits they accumulated. We know Moose gave up 7. Johnson gave up 2 and Justy 1, so that's a total of 10. And left on base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is your final result in Game 2 of the NLCS. You could argue that maybe I should have moved Oliver to center and taken Clines out, and had Robertson stay in the game, play first base, but you never know what role is going to come up. So, and who knows, Oliver could have made the same error. So, hard to say. You never know what the dice are going to come up with. But anyway, there you go. Both series now, NLCS and ALCS, all tied up at a game apiece. So that guarantees 2 games in Pittsburgh and 2 games in Oakland. Question is, will any of them go the full 5? That's one we got to figure out. So that's going to do it from here. Next video on the channel will either be Game 3 of the ALCS, Oakland and Baltimore, or it will be the next game in the 1987 AL replay. It'll be Toronto, Jimmy Key at Boston with Roger Clemens, as Boston is 0-4 trying to get their first win of the season. So I'm kind of leaning that way, and then maybe putting the Oakland-Baltimore one closer to the weekend. Like I said, I've got to play all the April 11th games before I can get to the Boston game, so I can have the scores ready and the out-of-town scoreboard ready and all that kind of good stuff. So that's it from here. Giants win it 4-3 in 10 innings, and they even the series and have momentum as they go back to Pittsburgh. As I look at the Game 3 starters for both teams, it appears that the Pirates are looking at Doc Ellis as their starter. He was 12-14 with a 3.05 ERA, so Doc Ellis will get the start for the Pirates. And for the Giants, it appears it will be Juan Marichal. Since Barr relieved in this game, they're going to have Marichal pitch. Marichal did relieve in Game 1, but he's going to have plenty of rest to get ready for this particular ball game. So it's going to be Doc Ellis against Juan Marichal in Game 3. So Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1973 NLCS style. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.